Welp, it's that time of year again. The air is cold, the people are hectic, scrambling to buy gifts, and I can put up my Sonic the Hedgehog ornaments without shame because I'm a big boy and you can't tell me what to do. So Christmas specials, huh? I know my last holiday video performed horribly, but in that I mentioned that usually I watch the Garfield Christmas special and cry my eyes out. And so this year I decided to dedicate an entire video on that subject because one of my favorite aspects of the holiday season is the movies and TV. But what counts as a Christmas special? Personally, it's an episode of a TV show that uses Christmas or winter as its main themes, usually released around that season. So we will not be talking about Christmas movies or animated Christmas features, even though some can be considered as specials, because we'd be here for a very long time. So today, let's take a look at some of my favorite Christmas specials in TV. Remember to turn on notifications and whatnot. Now let's get started. I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I love the hell out of Garfield. Growing up, I read an insane amount of French Garfield comics, but besides those, I loved the older Garfield cartoons. I own about 4 DVDs of it, one of them being the Christmas special. Cats have tails, but tails like stories. I'm such a loser. And man, just like every other year, a Garfield Christmas special never fails at warming my heart and making my eyes water from how overwhelmingly wholesome it is. In this, Garfield and Odie are forced to tag alongside John to visit his family for the holidays, and Garfield as usual is grumpy because he'd rather stay at home. It has a simple premise, but it works. Garfield is miserable, whereas John is ecstatic to spend the holidays with his family. But one thing I love about this, and just Garfield in general, is the voice acting. Don't get me wrong, I liked Frank Welker's voice for Garfield, I grew up with it, and Bill Murray's was, but Lorenzo Music will always be the definitive voice for the character. It fits so well, and I absolutely love the way he delivers the comedic lines, his blunt attitude making it funnier for me.
Whoever invented Christmas trees should be drug out into the street and shot.
Or John's grandmother, voiced by Pat Carroll, aka Ursula from The Little Mermaid. She's also the best character in this entire special. Though this is only 20 minutes long and cuts out a lot of content from the original comic book, I feel that each family member is given enough screen time to make me care for them, even if some come across as one-dimensional. This special is also just really silly. There's a few jokes that genuinely got a giggle out of me, catching me by surprise, like the one I played before, even though I've seen it so many times, like the scene where Grandma slides Garfield and Odie some Christmas dinner.
You sure are packing the food away tonight, Grandma.
I'm eating for 2 now, dear.
Ah.
And the more time they spend with John's family, the less miserable Garfield becomes, him even helping John put the star on top of the tree, and it's just nice to see. Garfield even joins with the whole family to sing a wholesome Christmas song, and I like how he slowly warms up around the others. And depending on which version you own, this scene might be a bit longer, with John's brother actually trying to sing, but he does it horribly, so he's then kicked out of the way by Grandma, where she sings her own intense rendition of the Christmas song. My Happy Holidays Garfield DVD sadly doesn't have this scene, which kinda sucks because I prefer that other version. But that doesn't matter, because in the story, on Christmas Eve, Garfield follows a missing Odie into the barn. We see Odie making some kind of thing before leaving in a hurry, and Garfield knocks down a box, finding an old pack of letters. And the next morning, Christmas. The family all have a nice time, opening gifts together, until Garfield says he has one last gift, giving those old letters to Grandma, because they were actually old love letters from her husband, who had passed away. Who the fuck is cutting onions? But then, Odie pulls Garfield to the side, revealing that his invention was a homemade back scratcher for Garfield. And he's so joyful over this gift, he realizes that the true meaning of Christmas is not about giving or receiving gifts, it's about loving each other. It's a bit corny, but it's exactly what you're looking for in a special like this, and that's how it ends. Like I said before, a simple premise, but it just works, man. I can see why this was nominated for a Primetime Emmy because I think the vibe this special gives alone is perfect for the holiday season. I mean, I'm writing and recording this in late November and I'm already feeling jolly because of it. It just makes me feel so cozy. Next up is The Simpsons Christmas Special, Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. Or, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. I have no idea what compelled me to sing that. I love that video. Or, Season 1, Episode 1. Now, I enjoy a lot of the Simpsons winter and holiday specials, but I think the first one is probably my favorite, at least top 3 from what I remember. I haven't watched or kept up with this show in a very long time. In this, the Simpson family excitedly prepare for the holidays, but after a situation where Bart tries to get a Heart Mom tattoo, Marge ends up spending all of the Christmas money to get it removed. And to make things worse, Homer never received a Christmas bonus, making him feel like a failure to his family. I think this holds up and has aged pretty well even after so long. Like Garfield, it's simple with your average Christmas cliche stuff, but it's at least done right. I like this version of Homer as well, where, yeah, he's not the brightest guy, nor is he always doing the right thing, but in this, he's constantly going to the extreme and trying his hardest to give his family a nice Christmas. He's a sweet guy who loves the season and wants nothing more than to give his family that same joy. Becoming a Santa at the local mall, chopping down a tree from some forest because he can't afford one. It's just got this vibe to it that I love. Also, the animation. I'm a sucker for old animation like this, and though the recent Simpsons stuff is really well animated, I'll always have a soft spot for this rough hand-drawn look. The way the mouths move super fast and stuff, the way the characters react, or like the way Marge's hair actually moves. I feel like in the recent stuff that I've watched, it looks more stiff. I just love it. This episode also gave us Santa's Little Helper, which really ties the bow on the gift that is this episode, in my opinion. Homer and Bart, as a last resort, place their bets on a dog race, desperate for a Christmas miracle that can give the Simpsons family that holiday joy. Little Helper comes in last place, leaving Homer even more defeated. But as they leave, the owner of that dog throws him away because he's a loser, and so Santa's Little Helper runs to the first person he sees, Homer, and they bring him home, officially making him a member of the Simpson family. It's just so wholesome and goofy with some great characterization and jokes. I specifically love the part where Patty and Selma call Homer, and when he responds, all they say is, "Can we speak to Marge, please? Is Marge on the phone? Is Marge there?" Like, it's just so stupid, and I love it. It makes me wonder if the latest season's holiday specials are any good. I don't really remember any of them. But I think the real villain of this is not Bart, it's Marge. I mean, all he wanted as an 8-year-old boy or something was a tattoo to show how much he loves his mom. I'm sure if I got that exact same tattoo, my mom would be just filled with joy and love for that. But now, let's move on to our final Christmas special of the day.
He sees everything I do with his left eye on me and his right eye on you.
Now, I've mentioned that I love SpongeBob, and especially Christmas Who from Season 2, Episode 8. I honestly love the way that it's written, with Bikini Bottom finding out what Christmas is, and Squidward realizing that he was being an ass to SpongeBob. I also have it on DVD. But I've already talked about a Christmas episode with a miserable guy who finds the true meaning of the holidays, so instead I'll be talking about It's a SpongeBob Christmas from Season 8, Episode 23. In this, if we ignore the little plot with Patchy the Pirate because I don't care about it, is about Bikini Bottom preparing for yet another Christmas. But Plankton, angry that he's always on the naughty list, creates a dubious scheme to turn everyone into jerks, throwing off the balance to be put on the nice list. And with SpongeBob not being affected by Plankton's evil fruitcake, he unknowingly spreads the disease of jerkiness across Bikini Bottom. And man, it is peak fiction. First off, the biggest thing about this is that it's entirely done in stop motion, and I just absolutely love it. It's so expressive and vibrant, and unlike anything they've done in the past back when this first dropped, to my knowledge. And it's very clear that a lot of love and care and passion was put into this, based on what some of the staff had said. Samus Walsh, I think I'm saying that right, for example, mentioned how stop motion is basically a tradition for a lot of Christmas media, and so their goal was to kind of give off that magical vibe, and I think they captured it perfectly. It's so smooth, all the puppets look accurate with such incredible detail, SpongeBob obviously being the highlight, and seeing how they created and worked the puppets behind the scenes was super fun to see on my DVD of this. I love behind the scenes stuff. And I also just love stop motion a lot. I used to be obsessed with it, and I used to make my own crappy stop motion videos, and it's just fun to see something like SpongeBob being turned into that type of medium. This is a classic for me. Though not as well written or sentimental as Christmas Who, I think I prefer this one just due to how ambitious it was and how well it paid off. It's such a fun time seeing SpongeBob naively make Plankton's plan a reality before it all comes crashing down, putting him right back on the naughty list.
I will trap Santa in my box, locked up like Fort Knox, and make him stop the clocks.
I can't listen to this scene normally anymore. Also, Santa in this is played by John Goodman. That's cool. That's a fun special guest. But there it is. Those are some of my favorites. I love a good cozy Christmas special, and I think these are among some of the funnest to watch during that holly jolly season. Sit down, get a cup of hot chocolate, and just watch these. But now, since I clearly love Christmas specials, there's a lot that I missed and didn't get to talk about, so I'm just going to give a quick rundown of other Christmas specials that I absolutely love. Phineas and Ferb, the older Mickey Mouse one, Adventure Time Holly Jolly Secrets, Kung Fu Panda one, that was kind of decent, Sonic Christmas Blast, which actually inspired me to make this video in the first place, but it's just really bad. The Charlie Brown ones, obviously, but I skipped those because they're already talked about a lot, and A Partridge in a Pear Tree. Thank you all for watching. I'd appreciate a little subscribe and notification bell turned on as my Christmas gift, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
It ain't hard to tell, I excel, then prevail. The mic is contacted, I attract clientele. My mic check is life or death, breathing a sniper's breath. I